Don Joaquin, 77 years old, was immediately arrested as soon as the neighbors discovered what he was feeding his fat pig. For decades, he had lived a quiet, solitary life in the countryside. A widower, with no children and no close family, he spent his days tending to his land, or what was left of it. His home was modest, surrounded by dry fields and towering trees that seemed to keep his secrets buried beneath their roots. But he was never truly alone. His only companion was a massive pig named Toñón. Toñón was enormous, far bigger than any pig the locals had ever seen. His thick, round body swayed as he moved, his heavy footsteps sinking into the soil with each step. Travelers passing through the nearby road often stopped, amazed by the sight of such a beast. "What do you feed him, Don Joaquin?" they would ask. "That pig is bigger than a bull." Joaquin would only smile, a slow, knowing grin. "It's a countryside secret," he would reply. "My own thing." The neighbors laughed at first, but then they began to wonder. Don Joaquin never bought animal feed. He never planted crops. His land was barren, save for the rickety old house and the sturdy wooden shed where Toñón slept. No one ever saw him feeding the pig, yet Toñón kept growing, his body swelling like a grotesque monument to an unspeakable truth. Then came the smell. At first it was faint, carried away by the wind before anyone could place it. But as time went on, the stench grew stronger, thicker. It clung to the air, seeping into clothes, invading lungs, a rancid, putrid odor that made stomachs turn and eyes water. Finally, someone made the call. When the police arrived, they expected to find something rotten, perhaps a dead animal left to decay. But nothing could have prepared them for what they found inside the shed. Piles of bones, strips of decomposing flesh, a mass of bloodied rags and torn clothing, stained with time and death. Human remains, stacked in heaps, half-eaten and discarded. The realization hit like a thunderclap. Joaquin wasn't just feeding his pig, he was feeding it people. News spread through the town like wildfire. The police launched an immediate investigation, uncovering a chilling truth. For years, Joaquin had been making deals with a corrupt undertaker at the local morgue. Unclaimed bodies, those with no family, no identity, no one to care, had been quietly delivered to his farm instead of being buried or cremated. Joaquin never asked questions. He only took what was given. But as detectives dug deeper, another far more terrifying theory emerged. What if the bodies hadn't always been unclaimed? What if some of them had been taken? The authorities searched the region, looking into missing persons cases that had gone cold. Drifters, beggars, lost souls who had vanished without a trace. No witnesses, no clues, just disappearances, one after another, spanning years. And at the center of it all, Don Joaquin and his insatiable pig. When they finally arrested him, Joaquin didn't resist. He sat on his porch, gazing out at the empty fields, his hands resting on his knees. "I never killed anyone," he said simply. "I just took what was already dead." Was he telling the truth? Or had he hidden his crimes under the weight of his monstrous secret? No one will ever know for sure. Toñón was put down the next morning. The farm was abandoned, left to decay under the relentless sun. But some say that when the wind blows just right, you can still catch a whiff of something foul in the air. And in the silence of the night, if you listen closely, you might just hear the ghostly echo of a pig's hungry grunts. What do you think? Was Don Joaquin just a man with a horrifyingly twisted idea of resourcefulness? Or was he something far worse? Let me know in the comments, and if you want more eerie, true crime-inspired stories, Don't forget to subscribe. There are many more secrets waiting to be uncovered.